Joe Volpe, publisher Corriere Canadese, on behalf of Go Live TV, Corcan Media Group, with the comment of the day, which has been generated by a series of activities on the educational front last week. Not surprisingly, one of our favorite school boards, the York Region District School Board, is in the limelight once again. Here we are with our comment. The strange atmosphere at York Region District School Board. Now, if one is a public school supporter in York Region, well, good luck to you. Imagine living in the southwest reaches of the region, Vaughan Woodbridge, and wanting to meet and or speak to your trustee. If the weather and traffic flows cooperate, on a good day, you might need a minimum of 1 hour drive to see him or her at the board offices in Aurora. I know I've had to take the trip a couple of times. Now, geography seems to provide insulation against the penetrating intrusion of principles like openness, responsible behavior, accountability, or transparency. One can make things up on the fly, secure in the knowledge that few will take the trouble to pose those uncomfortable questions that keep people on the up and up, so to speak, and organizations loyal to the strategic goals and the common good. Understand that the York Region District School Board is a big organization. It is the custodian of a public asset, publicly funded educational enterprise with an annual budget in excess of $1.4 billion. It's the biggest employer in York Region. And it's easy to lose your way. In 2016-2017, the York Region District School Board came close to doing just that, as the 3 R's were replaced by what seemed to be the 3 C's: corrosion, corruption, and cover-up. Allegations of bullying, racial and religious discrimination, irresponsible handling of public finances, sweetheart employment contracts, financial mismanagement, and so forth led to the shakeup at the top of the administrative food chain, resignations of elected officials, and the appointment of investigators by the Ministry of Education. What was the spark for all of that? A concerned parent, Charlene Grant, whose children were the object of undignified behavior by some insensitive staff, period. She sought to redress that. She was met initially with a wall of indifference, if not hostility. Her own trustee, Anna DeBartolo, then chair of the board, defended the party line. And then the then director, John Parapali, also stuck to his guns. He was later dismissed. After an executive search exercise, he was replaced by the current director, Louise Cerisco, a seasoned educational administrator. Trustee DeBartolo surprisingly survived the wrath of the electorate in 2018, even as a field of 7 candidates challenged her. Chief among them was Charlene Grant, who placed second. Parapali launched a multi-million-dollar lawsuit against the York Region District School Board. Depending on the outcome, this would implicate all trustees at the time, presumably including ones like DeBartolo, with whom he had a previously professional relationship. DeBartolo, less than 4 weeks after having been sworn in, resigned, citing personal reasons and issues of privacy. Good luck. The board clearly had advance warning. They had asked the city of Vaughan for estimates of the cost in the event the board were to decide to fill in an impending vacancy with a by-election. Director Cerisco, who had no relationships with either the administration or the board members during the tumultuous period of 2016-2017, strikes me and others as someone who is trying to keep a porous boat afloat. Her board decided to opt for a by-election at the cost of $177,000. In doing so, the board decided to break with its own precedent, common sense and a well-established principle as well, of appointing the second-place candidate in the previous election as a replacement. It works in other aspects of life as well. Just as a matter of illustration, when Ben Johnson was stripped of his gold medal in Seoul Olympics of 1988, no one suggested that the new medalist ought to go through the entire qualifying process from the beginning. The Olympic Committee awarded the gold medal to the second-place finisher. The York Region District School Board still has a procedural mechanism to rescind its previous hastily made decision. The chair at last Tuesday's meeting missed the opportunity to call for trustees willing to move such a motion, and so there wasn't one. But there's still time. Charlene Grant may emerge the winner even if there is a by-election. Irrespective of any outcome, in the event of a potential by-election, the issue of integrity may continue to nip at the heels of the organization. Joe Volpe for Go Live TV, Corriere Media Group, Corriere Canadese, inviting you to follow us on all social media and to stay tuned for a comment in Italian. A reminder that tomorrow we will interview the former Minister of Education, who was at the heart of all of this when it all happened, none other than Mitzi Hunter. Until later.
Advocating on behalf of the trades workers and their employers is something we have been doing for over 40 years, being responsible for the landing of thousands of workers in Canada. Our team is